Hi, this is Christina, and this is Releasing for a Better Life. Again, I want to just remind you how this works. This program works. It's about releasing whatever issues you have in your life, problems, great things, bad things, whatever you need to do. Put it in a ball and release it to God, and then wait for God to send you back messages. And also using your angels as a form of communication with God, with yourself, as a sounding board, but also to remind your angels what you need. Remembering that the angels in your life are only here to help you. They are a sounding board, but you also have to let them know what you're looking for. These videos that I do are a journal that I put out so everyone can see the things I've been working on and the successes that I've had with doing this program. And so this is just a kind of a quick reminder of what this is about. So this week, it's kind of a continuation of last week. I have these like inner voices in my world, like a lot of us do. And I'm not like voices that, tell me things. I have an inner voice of kind of dislike for myself. And these inner voices are always wanting to feed me negative information about myself. And some of it's past trauma, past things that have happened. For instance, at one point I was fired from a job, and it's a job I had worked very hard for. I had been a good employee as far as I knew. I had been very positive, very excited. Did I love the job? Well, I don't know, but the reality is that I put everything into it, and then I was fired for something that wasn't really my fault. And there's a type of actually PTSD, I would say, that happened from that, where every job I enter into now, I feel like I'm going to be fired. I feel like people either love me or hate me, and I'm on this verge of every choice I make, if it's not to their liking, they may fire me for. And it's stressful, and sometimes it's worse than others. And I know a lot of it is just in my head. It's just things I tell myself, and that's the voices I'm talking about. These voices that tell me all the time, you're going to be fired. It doesn't matter if you do a good job. If I do something that's not questionable, but maybe they wouldn't have done, then I feel like that's going to get me fired, or that they're talking about me. And it's just my own insecurity and my own inability to let go of what happened in the past and just go forward in the future. I know I meet a lot of people who talk about this with relationships. They'll have a bad relationship in the past, and they'll seek out the same type of relationship or not, but they'll be afraid at that point with their relationship that it's going to be bad. The same things are going to happen that happened with the last one, to the point that they'll probably chase that person away. I know I did that many times too with, I had an ex-husband. My first husband was far from a lovely man. And for the first few relationships, I became panicked and clingy to the men I was dating, thinking that if I just held on to them tight and I changed who I was and I became a different person, they would stay. And eventually all those relationships went away, and I had to kind of revamp myself and tell myself I was worth it. I was okay. And I did find a great man. I did get into a great relationship. I'm in a great relationship. It's fantastic. And that was that revamping of thinking. And so now I started thinking about that as I've been going through this week of, again, these voices coming to my head saying, you're going to be fired. You made the wrong choice. You were a bad person. And even with the process of feeling protected by my angels, I always still, those voices come back and they overpower everything. No matter what I'm working on, no matter what I'm trying to create or do in my life, these voices seem to overpower me and tell me, it doesn't matter. You're going to be fired, and it's tough. It's tough, especially, my husband and I bought a house a few years ago, and we have 2 young children that are being supported by my income. So that's another added pressure. And, and I do remember when I lost my last job, I lost it. I had trouble finding another one, and I ended up losing my home, declaring bankruptcy. I ended up having to travel to other places to find work and kind of uprooting my life and having to give away a lot of belongings. So there was a lot of stress around that. People may say it was a job. What are you talking about? PTSD. It's stressful when I had for 20 some years created this life of, a home and, my two older kids. I had saved all sorts of their schoolwork and their things that reminded me of their childhood, their pictures, special toys I had put away, and those were all gone. Within a matter of minutes, I had to give it all away because I was moving away to start a new life. And as beautiful as that life is, it's still sad. There's times I still even look back at that. So there's a lot to play here. When I think of losing my job, I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this house. Oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to save. We've just started reaccumulating things that, we started saving things from these kids, and we got, like a permanent Christmas tree that we put up every year. And, all the things that I had before, I'm having to recapture with this life. So it's very stressful for me. And when I feel like I've done something wrong or my job is on the line, all those memories of everything I lost and the stress it was like. I had to cash in my 401k just to survive. And, parts of it were great, but it was stressful. It was hard. And I don't know that I always appreciate that. So I had to think back to when my divorce happened and redating new men and how that worked, that I actually found someone great when I had found so many men that didn't fit, that the relationships just crumbled around me. No matter what I did or what I tried to say, they just dissipated on one side or the other. And I remember what I did is revamp me. And I revamped me by just putting me as a priority, what I needed, what I was worth, giving myself a value beyond what my previous marriage was. So I thought, why can't I do that with this job? And of course, when this stress is happening and I'm going through all this, I kind of lose it for a while. I become almost irrational. I'm sure everybody's out to get me, that everybody has it out for me. And I have to have that moment of kind of losing it. And I realize how important that is, because the moment I let all those irrational feelings come out, they're irrational, and some of them may be true, but they may not be. And that's, the beauty of doing this releasing is you can allow everything. You don't have to script it. You can let everything go. You can, and those periods of me kind of losing it and kind of letting loose on my husband a little bit, and I do, but he understands. But just kind of saying, this is how I'm feeling. It may seem irrational, and I know to him, when I talk about losing my job and the stresses at work, parts of it do seem irrational to him. He's like, what do you mean they hate you? What do you mean? You seem to be well liked. People give you great reviews, and, you do a good job, and you don't seem to have any bad things going on there. And I said, no, it really is. And he said, I don't get it. I don't see it. And, we sat down and we talked, and I said, sometimes, I need you to remind me I'm okay. And, we talked about this self-talk. Something as simple as saying, I am okay. I'm okay just the way I am. I'm okay exactly as I am. It's more than just releasing. You release, and then you remind yourself how okay you are, and that you are protected, and you tell your angel, I need you to hear this, and I need you to be there for me and remind me I am okay. And then even if the job does get lost, there's something more for me. It's always something more. At the time when I was losing relationships, it seemed like there would never be the right one. Little did I know the right one was just around the corner. I just had to be patient for the right one. And the same thing goes with jobs. I met so many people who told me they were fired only to find their real life calling. It was like it was a push in the right direction. And you forget to look at that and say, okay, I don't know if I'm going to lose my job or not, but maybe this is a sign from God saying you're not looking in the other direction. You're not looking at all your potentials. You're not looking to see what else you might like to do. If this particular thing causes you this much stress, maybe you need to look at what else you're capable of instead of just relying on this job. And it's so simple to start this by just saying, I am okay. My path is there. I'm being led in the right direction. I am okay. And then finish it up with whatever your desire is, whatever your goal is at this time. whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be related to whatever the stress. I mean, if it's a relationship and your goal is to be in a happy, successful relationship, then you say, I am okay. I am beautiful. I am loved. I'm protected. I am okay. I'm okay just as I am. And I am in a happy, healthy relationship. And that's how you talk to yourself. You put yourself into that position. You remind yourself you're okay. You remind yourself you're protected. And then you finish it up with whatever your final goal is. And you repeat that goal over and over again. It becomes a song in your head. And that repetition is what creates success in your life. Even if it is not that final goal, like if your goal is to have a happy, successful relationship, you may find that it's maybe not the partner you were looking for, but it turns out to be a best friend, and you're like, you know what, that is actually okay. Right now, that's okay. Something else is sent your way. Maybe it's a great job. Maybe, it's a great opportunity. Who knows what this final path is? You set out what you want, knowing that the best part of that is being given to you at any time. And I can't tell you, I know that not everybody has someone that they can just kind of vent to, and that's why you have your angels there to talk to. But if you can have a moment when you're feeling incredibly stressed, to let the irrational out, go ahead. This is my permission to you. Allow yourself to be irrational. Let's say you're trying to lose weight and you feel like a total failure. It doesn't matter if you've lost it or not, but you feel like a failure no matter what you've done. But if you let that irrational stuff come out and then you finish it, you let it come out, you give it to God, and then you finish it all up with reminding yourself, I'm okay. I am okay. And my past journey is there. I'm protected. I'm loved by my angel. I'm never alone. And I am thin, happy, and healthy. Finish it up that way. And you will see tremendous things, and you'll see stress releasing from your body. This process is so strong and powerful, and you have to use each aspect of it. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to release my job today. You're going to say, I'm going to release the irrational, because right now I'm feeling irrational, and that's okay. So often I think when we are feeling irrational, or we're feeling like our fears, our worries are chaotic and strange and shouldn't be there, that's the perfect time to understand they are there for a purpose. They're there for a purpose. And if you release them, you're allowing the greatness to come, and you're allowing the things that need to be there to be there. And you're allowing change to happen. I know whenever I kind of unleash on my husband with my irrational fears of things, suddenly great things come along. Like I released to my husband, and all of a sudden I had this new intuition come through my life. All of a sudden these great feelings and these pictures and images came through, and I thought, you know what? And I had this bound of energy that I hadn't had, and I thought I needed to release that irrational. I needed to release these thoughts that maybe he doesn't understand. He's just a patient man, but he has them with me too. He just maybe doesn't understand when it's happening. So allow yourself to be irrational. Allow yourself to be chaotic for a few minutes, and allow it to come out, and just make sure you give it away to God. Just put it in a bubble. You don't even have to picture it if you can at that time. Just say it, and say, it's in here. Here you go, God. And send it up and let it go. And then remind yourself how great you really are. Remind yourself you're okay. You don't have to use any fancy terms. You don't have to go through and say, I'm spectacular, I'm beautiful. I'm okay. I am okay. And everything will be okay. You will be amazed how the stress and the anxiety go away and great things come in that you weren't expecting. All right. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you had any success, please let me know. If you need any help, please contact me. Thanks again, and see you next week.